It's crazy to me that something like this can really motivate a lot of people to start a YouTube career. So for a lot of you guys that don't know this channel is called Milad Merg. Well, that's the name of the channel. That's the name of the individual, the YouTuber, I should say, that creates this type of content. And for a lot of you guys that are probably not aware, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are, this creator pretty much became successful making YouTube videos about his job at Subway, just pretty much recording his Subway job, talking about different experiences that he's had, and just documenting his whole journey on this job that he decided to start recording in 2020. And what's crazy to me is that we pretty much started at the same time. In one of his videos, he said that he started doing these types of videos in 2020 when the pandemic was going around. I literally started around the same time in 2020 when the pandemic was just pretty much starting. And it's crazy to me that now he has 6.82 million subscribers and I'm over here at 77 subscribers. So can we please at least get to 100 subscribers? I would really appreciate it if we could reach that milestone of mine to get 100 subscribers. I'll be really, really happy. Now, I wanted to talk about this video because honestly, it's very motivational. The fact that you could just record your life and all of a sudden millions of people are tuned in, millions of people are interested in the content that you're doing. And to me, that is so surprising because nowadays, we feel that we need to be very, very energetic, which is not bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but we feel that we need to have this very, very spontaneous and dramatic lifestyle like Mr. Beast or something. We feel that we need to spend millions of dollars on explosions and Bugattis and Rolls Royce and all these things, all these fancy stuff and equipment and visual effects. We feel that we need to do that. But think about this guy right here. Think about Milad. He literally just is recording himself working at his job and he gained a following. Now he's pretty much doing this as a career. So it's like, how, at some point, this is just like mind shattering because you think that in order to be a successful YouTuber, you need to have all this cash. But in reality, you just need to be passionate about what you're doing and be able to express yourself on YouTube, because that's how you're going to make it, by expressing yourself, by being creative, by being innovative, by showing your passion, by showing your true self. And yes, maybe he's not passionate about Subway, but he was passionate or is still passionate about recording videos on YouTube about his job at Subway. And one thing that he really does do well, and this is a very, very good skill to have, is storytelling. The fact that he storytells very, very well is what gets people to watch. Now, that's only one part of the video. The storytelling, what really captivates people to watch the video. Another part is the movements or whatever he's doing at Subway. People are interested in seeing that point of view of a Subway worker working and making sandwiches. Like, that's just very interesting to see, how he moves, the slicing and cutting of the bread and putting the bread to bake and, moving around the ingredients. People like to see that and match that with the storytelling. It's going to create a very, very good video. Now, there's a lot of people that took inspiration for this and started doing other things. Like, there's this other YouTuber by the name of Dylan. I don't know his last name, but I know he goes by Dylan, who is pretty much doing the same thing, but working at Cold Stone. And this guy is pretty much doing the same thing. I don't know if he's very successful, but he's successful in the fact that he's had videos that gain millions of views and hundreds of thousands of views. So it's pretty much a career. And it's crazy to me that you could just do this and be making a living off of YouTube. Now, I've tried to do this, but in my opinion, it's so hard for me because I don't have a cool job like this. Obviously, I do work at a job, but my job is just driving a truck. So there's not really a lot of action. So, and I have tried it in the past. I've tried, putting my GoPro right here on top of my hat and driving my truck. But at the end of the day, it's literally just me driving. So there's not a lot of action going on, right? So this is very motivating to me. The fact that someone could become very successful by doing stuff like this, where you do not need millions of dollars in production and directing. You could just pretty much work at your job, at your retail job, or maybe if you want to do something in your house, maybe you're renovating. I know there's also this TikToker that goes around door to door to people's houses, and he cuts their lawn, he cuts their hedges for free. But what does he get in return? He gets a very successful TikTok video. So keep that in mind every time you want to become, maybe you're planning on starting a YouTube channel or a TikTok account. You do not need to invest millions of dollars to start. All you pretty much need is a camera, a tripod, something to record, and a clear plan of action, right? So like, for example, Milad Merg right here, what you're seeing, he is recording his Subway videos. That's his content. That's his plan of action. Subway content while talking, or if you want to cut the grass, like that one TikToker I said, that's the plan of action. Cutting the lawns of people and talking and recording your process. That is pretty much the style and niche that you need to create. So what is the style and niche that you want to create? Do you want to create YouTube videos about just you playing games? Maybe you're starting up a small coffee shop and you want to, show people your journey. This whole YouTube thing, it's your oyster. It's your canvas, I should say. You are the artist. You make YouTube what you want to do or what you want to portray to the world, and you need to show it. You need to show a clear plan of action. You need to show people that you're ambitious, that you have a goal in mind, right? Because that's the only way people are going to stay. So for example, my mistake when I started my first ever YouTube channel was that I was literally doing a bunch of videos about different niches. I was doing gaming videos, and then next week I would do a cooking video, and then next week I would be doing a shoe review video. So that was pretty much me putting my eggs in different baskets, right? That was me chopping up the tree in different spots instead of chopping up the tree in the same spot so that the tree could eventually fall. That was my mistake. So I don't want you guys to create the same mistake. If you're going to do a YouTube channel, stick to a certain niche or stick to a certain video format. It's not until you become successful or you become well known or you create a following, you get an audience, that you could start to venture out into different niches or whatever you want to do. Like, for example, this guy, Milad Merg, right? So we're talking about him. So he pretty much gained an audience by doing these Subway videos. And then he started to switch up his content and he started doing something else. But people followed him because he gained an audience. So that's the privilege of gaining an audience first. And that's what we need to do. Gain an audience first. And then we could pivot to another form of content style. And if that form pops off and it does well, then hey, continue doing that. But a lot of people, we have the mistake. A lot of early YouTubers, we have the mistake that we tend to pivot so quick in our career, early in our career in YouTube, that it pretty much just confuses the audience. The audience is going to be like, bro, what the heck? Like, what type of channel are you? Because I subscribed for this video, but now you're pumping out a food review video. Like, I do not want to watch that. And that's the mistake a lot of people make. So we need to take that into consideration, that we need to stick to a certain niche, a certain type of video format that people are going to want to come back. Because if you really think about it, we come back. We as humans, it's a very psychological thing. We tend to come back to things that we're familiar with, to things that we're comfortable with, right? We tend to watch shows that we're already comfortable with and that we just love seeing, right? That's why all this thing in the movie theaters, they're taking out a bunch of nostalgic movies like Lilo and Stitch, the live action film, The Lion King. They're bringing back the nostalgia because people like what they already know that they like, right? They don't really pump out a bunch of new movies because, they know that it could be a hit or miss, right? So it's the same thing with YouTube. Viewers and the audience, they like to come back to video styles that they're familiar with because they know that they could trust that video style. right? So take that into consideration every time you want to start a YouTube channel, or if you're planning on starting a YouTube channel, make sure you create, I don't want to say the same content every single day, but create similar content so that people could come back and recognize that that's your channel, and they could be comfortable watching because they know that they could trust you as a creator. So if you agree with everything that I just said and you feel comfortable watching, then I know that you're going to want to watch the video that YouTube is going to recommend. Go ahead and help me get those 4,000 watch hours. Allow me to hit 100 subscribers, and I'll see you guys on the next one.